So today's lesson, we will have a new lesson, boys and girls. How everybody? So today's lesson is 15.4, which is about cubes. And I know you know cubes, so we will learn more about it. And the objective for today's lesson is to draw cubes and describe how they look. So we will see how the cubes looks. We will learn more about cubes. Vocabulary for today's lesson is cube, face, and edge. So what we mean by cube? So the cube is a solid shape that has faces. So this is the cube, and it has the faces that they have a shape of a square. So the faces of the cubes looks like squares. And the next is the face. So what we mean by the face? So the face is the flat side that cannot roll. So if it is square, that means cannot roll. So these the flat sides, which we call them face. And the edge, so we have the last vocabulary, so it is the edge. And the edge is this line where the two sides of a solid shape can join together or meet here, making this sharp edge. So we call this an edge. So let's go and see our lesson for today, and which is starting with page 877. So they have described this shape in 3 or more ways. They said, describe this shape, this one, that you see, the shape that the boy is holding for us. So describe this shape into 3 or more things. So we can say this is, so you can say this is yellow. We can describe it as color. And also you can describe this and say this has flat side. It has flat sides. And we can also describe it and say this has edges. So these are edges. We will see how many faces and how many edges. And you can also say the face of this shape looks like a square shape. It has a square shape on the faces. So let's turn the page and see more about cubes. So the cubes, I want you everybody to remember this. So the cube is a solid figure with 6 equal faces. So the cube has 6 equal faces, and also it has 12 edges, and it has 8 vertices. I want you to remember cube has 6 equal faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. So let's go and see number 1. So in number 1, they want us to describe, to circle the cube in each group. So if you see here in this group, so which one of these shape is a cube? So the first one is a cube because it is a solid shape and it has faces. And here, you remember here we said that the cube has 6 equal, so they have to be equal. So this one doesn't have an equal. This is smaller than this, then we will not say this is not a cube. And this also, they don't have 6 faces, and if they are not equal, then this is not a cube. Also this one, the faces are not equal, so this is not a cube. And the last one has faces that are equal, so we can say this is a cube. So number 2, they use the dot paper. So they give us a dot paper here, and they want us to draw a cube. So if you can see, you can just connect the dot and make a cube. So if I start from here, so we can all together make a cube. So go this way. You can try it in different way. So this is my easy one. So try to do some lines that making the shapes of squares the faces will look square and they should be equals. So this is my cube looks like. So yes, and you cannot see this line is because it is behind, and this line also is behind, so we cannot see all the faces, and we will learn this later. So then I want you to turn the page and go to page 879. So 879, they said decide if the shape is a cube, then draw a line from each shape to the cube or not cube. So if you look here, so we have 4 shapes and we have cube and not a cube. So which one is a cube? Then match them with this because it's a cube. And if it is not a cube, match it with this one, which is not a cube. So this one doesn't have an equal side, then this one is not cube. So just line up this with this one. And this one has equal side and it is solid, then we can say this is a cube. And this one does not have 6 sides, then this is not a cube. And this one has 6 sides, equal side, which is the side looks like a square shape, then this is a cube. So I have 2 cubes and 2 not a cube. Okay, so let's go to number 4. And they said trace the cube shown below. So we will highlight the line between the point and the dots like this to make our cube clear. So clear your cube in your book. And then how many faces can you see? So we can see only this face and this one and this one. Do you see more than that? No, you can see only 1, 2, 3. So I see 3 faces and there is 3 more faces behind each face. So each one of these faces hiding another face behind it. So I see 3 and there is 3 hidden, then there is 6 faces. So I can see only 3 faces, not more than that, because I cannot see behind the faces. Okay, so now number 5, they said use what you know about cubes to write an equation and solve each problem. So boys and girls, you remember how many vertices do these 2 cubes have in all? So how many vertices did each cube has? We learned that before and we said, remember? So the cube has 8 vertices. Then each one of them will have 8. So this one will have 8 and this one will have 8. Then 8 and 8 equal 16. Then my answer will be 16 vertices. Both cube will have 16 in all. One has 8, the other one has 8. Both together have 16. Okay, then now how many faces do these 2 cubes have in all? So boys and girls, you remember we said each cube has 6 equal faces. Then one of them have 6 faces. We will put 6 here. And this one has 6 faces also. Then 6 and 6 equal 12. So both cubes together have 12 faces in all. Okay, so 12 in all. So let's turn the page to page 880 and see number 7. And use what you know about cubes to solve each problem. So we have information about cubes, then we will use it. So Scott is holding a solid figure with 6 equal faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Scott says the figure is a cube. German Carmen says the figure is square. Who is correct? So what do you think? Scott is correct or Carmen is correct? And explain. So we will say Scott is correct because the shape that they are describing is, we already know that it is cube because we said cube is a solid figure with 6 equal faces, 12 edges and vertices. And how we know or we can explain? So Carmen said that is square, and square is not a solid. Square is plane. So square, so we can say square is plane shape, is not a solid shape, plane shape, and it does not have faces. It is just plane, okay, not solid. So number 8, so circle the vocabulary word that completes the sentences. The sentence. So vertices, face, and edge. So a cube has 6 what? 6 vertices or 6 faces or 6 edges. So we will circle faces because we already learned that the cube has 6 faces, and we will write here faces, not vertices, not edges, because it has 8 vertices and it has 12 edges, but it has 6 faces. Then this is the word. Number 9, use a place value once cube or another solid cube. So a solid cube, look at the cube as you turn the cube in any direction. What is the greatest number of faces you can see at one time? So at one time you can see only 3 faces because you cannot see behind the other face. I can see when I look at this. So look at this. I can see 1, 2, 3. So the most number I can see is 3 because these other 3 are hiding. So I can see only 3 faces. And here, complete the sentence about a cube. So a cube is what? So a cube is a solid what? A solid figure. So we can write here a solid figure. Solid figure. So it is a solid figure. And a cube has how many equal faces? So we already know that has 6 equal faces. And how many vertices? We know that it has 8 vertices and 12 edges. So this is all about the cube, and it is an easy lesson, and I hope you enjoy it and understand it. So please do your homework, page 881 and 882, and do your worksheets and video on Classera and Pearson. Thank you so much, boys and girls. This is our last lesson for this topic, and stay safe.